You know, for families all across Tennessee, there is absolutely nothing more important than knowing your kids are safe at school. But what does school safety really look like day to day? Well, we're going to break down Tennessee's official approach so you can get a clear picture of how it all works.
It's the big question, right? The one on every parent's mind. So in this explainer, we're going to dive into all the different parts of Tennessee's safety strategy, everything from the locked doors you see to the mental health support you might not, to give you that complete picture.
All right, here's how we're going to tackle this. We'll start with the big idea behind it all, then get into the state's three-part game plan. After that, we'll look at the kinds of safety measures you'll actually see in schools, talk about the role of law enforcement, and then shift to why mental health is so crucial. And finally, we'll talk about your role as a parent in all of this. Okay, first things first. Let's talk about the core philosophy that guides pretty much every school safety decision in the state. And that's this idea of a layered safety plan.
So the main idea here is that there's no single magic bullet that makes a school safe. It's not just one thing. Think of it more like securing your home, right? You've got locks on the doors, maybe you have a security system, and you've got neighbors who keep an eye out. None of those layers is perfect on its own, but when you put them all together, you get a much, much stronger system.
So how does that whole layered idea actually get put into action? Well, it's all built around a really proactive three-part strategy: prevention, preparedness, and response.
And the really crucial thing to get here is that safety starts way before an emergency ever happens. Prevention is all about having systems in place to spot warning signs and making it easy for people to report them. Preparedness means having a solid plan that you've actually practiced. And response, well, that's carrying out that plan smoothly when it counts the most.
Okay, so we've talked about the high-level strategy, but what does this actually look like on the ground? You know, when you walk through the doors of your kid's school. Let's get into the practical tools and procedures.
I bet you've seen a lot of these layers in action already. Things like having just one main entrance where every visitor has to sign in, or those regular lockdown drills. And of course, the emergency text and emails that keep all the families in the loop. Each one of these is just one piece of that big safety puzzle, and they're all designed to work together to keep the school secure. Now, one of the most visible layers you'll see is the School Resource Officer, or SRO. It's really important to know, though, that their presence and exactly what they do can be pretty different from one school district to the next. It often depends on things like local funding and partnerships.
You know, the conversation around SROs has a few different perspectives. On one hand, supporters point out that they can seriously cut down on emergency response times and make coordination with local police a lot smoother. On the other hand, critics caution that it's all about balance, and that investing in counselors and mental health support is just as critical for preventing problems in the first place.
And that brings us to a super important point. Modern school safety is about so much more than just physical security. It's not just about cameras and locks anymore. It's really about the human side of things, with a huge focus on mental wellness and prevention.
This quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? The idea now is that proactive support is a core part of any good safety plan. The goal is to get ahead of issues, to address them before they can ever grow into a crisis.
So how does that actually work? Well, a lot of schools now have what are called threat assessment teams. These are usually made up of counselors, teachers, and administrators. Their whole job is to identify students who might be showing warning signs, like pulling away from friends or having big changes in behavior, and then step in to get them the support they need before a problem gets any bigger.
Okay, so with all of this in mind, what about you? Where do you fit in? Well, as a parent or a guardian, you actually play a huge role in this whole effort. Let's walk through a little playbook.
Seriously, never ever underestimate your role in this. When you're engaged in asking informed questions, you're not just being helpful. You are directly contributing to a safer school for everybody. Being an involved parent is a powerful safety tool.
So please, don't ever hesitate to start a conversation. Asking specific questions like these, how do you screen visitors? Or how do you communicate with us in an emergency? It helps you understand the plan, and it also shows the school that you're a partner in keeping the whole community safe.
And here is a really important reminder. Tennessee is a big, diverse state. The safety policies in a huge city district might look totally different from those in a small rural one. So always check your local school's handbook for the specific details that apply to your child.
So, if you only take one thing away from all of this, what should it be? It's this: awareness is your single most powerful tool. Just understanding your school's approach and knowing who to talk to can make all the difference in the world.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you've got this framework of layered safety, prevention, and partnership, the real question isn't just what the school is doing, it's what can we all do together? So how can you help build a safer school?